Welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, and hello if you're new. Today we're going to be doing another one of these new-ish videos that I'm experimenting with, and today I just want to sort through some scrap because I need to do that for an upcoming project. But I thought at the same time I would sort of discuss what kind of happens when you have a project you want to accomplish. In this case, this is one I wanted to do on my channel, but things just don't go according to plan. And that would be these. I have a bag of granny squares, and we'll get to why they're just staying in this bag in a minute, but it kind of potentially ties in with my scrap. I might be able to use them together. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Buckle in. Very thrilling stuff. Scrap sorting and granny squares. So this scrap that I have in my bag, I have been saving this for the last, it's got to be at least 18 months, probably coming up on 2 years now. And it's sort of scrap that is still, it's usable. It's not little offcuts, it's more like the remnants of skein. So this sort of stuff here. And I've been keeping it because my goal is to make a scrap project. I'm not sure yet what that scrap project is going to be. I'm leaning towards like a sweater or a top, just because that's something I get the most use out of. But I am open to suggestions. So if you have any of those, chuck them down in the comments. But today I just want to sort all of my yarn into colors. I want to group all the colors together. I'm thinking of making sort of simultaneously a rainbow scrap project, but an ombre rainbow project. So I'd have all the colors in order from lightest to darkest in their various like shades. So all the blues, I'd have light blue to dark blue, and then I would have the rainbow stripes themselves. So I'd have like the blue, the purple, so on and so forth. That's what I'm picturing in my head anyway, but that is subject to change on a whim. So for now, I want to get all this out. I probably should have chosen a better location to do this in because I really don't have much room here. Maybe I can put it behind me. So I just scoot over a little bit. You on the floor for now. So I want to keep all my like creams, whites, and that sort of thing together. I'll group together all the blacks and the greys, and then all the other colors. So I've got my blues already here. With the variegated stuff, so it's got like multiple colors. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with that, depending on what sort of colors they are. I may put it in between the solid rainbow color layers. For example, this has got like purples and yellows in it most prominently. So if I had purple and yellow next to each other, I could put it between those. But I don't know yet. That is a future problem. So we've got my pinks here. And there's quite a bit of yarn in here, but it's one of those things where somehow I have both less and more of it than I thought. It's somehow both. Yellow, I don't have a pile for yellow yet, but there's some more pink. The next problem is going to be finding bags to put all of this in, because all the bags that I've got are just far too large to put these little bits of scrap in. It'd be kind of a waste. There's a lot of greens. I think some of these greens were leftovers from my moss wall over there. God, I used so much yarn in that. Worth it, definitely worth it, but yeah, so much yarn. Have any of you ever made a scrap project like this? I'd just be interested to know what it is you've made. Because as I said, I don't really have too many ideas apart from like a jumper or a sweater. I could make a blanket, but I'm not too keen on making a blanket. A, because I sort of have all the blankets that I currently need, but B, the blanket project that I'm focusing on most at the moment is my Pokemon blanket, which is going to take so long to finish. And it's taken even longer because I just keep getting like interrupted. And another question I have for those of you who have made scrap projects like this before is, when do you know that you have enough yarn? For example, if I do make a jumper, well, it depends on how exactly I construct it, but I am at the very least going to need a front side, a back side, and 2 sleeves. How do you know when you have enough yarn? Because I want to make sure I have enough rainbow for like all of those. And with all of this yarn being different weights, different fiber types, I don't know how to measure that. I do not know how to measure it. My plan was just to basically crochet and see what happens. Story of my life. I actually have a lot more white than I thought I would. Why do I have so much white yarn left over? We're getting down to the dregs now. All of these pieces seem to be really small. So according to the data that I've collected, I need to start using more orange yarn. I don't have much of that. Don't have much of the variegated stuff either, but I'm not really inclined to use more of that if I don't have to. But other than the orange, I really do have a decent amount of the rest of the colours. Blue is clearly in the lead. Is anyone surprised? Not me. Yeah, purple's coming a close second. Green as well. I'm kind of surprised I had as much green as I did, but then again, moss wool. We can blame the moss wool for a majority of that. The next thing I will have to do is find either bags or containers I can keep this in, which will keep my colours separated. I'm going to hang on to the original bag because I want to use this for additional scrap, so any scrap that I have left over in the coming weeks or months, that's going to go in there. But for these colours, I want to keep them separated, but I'll figure that out later on. But for now, let's talk about these. So back at the start of the year, January 1st, 2024, I set myself, hang on, let me get comfortable. I set myself the challenge of crocheting 100 granny squares in 100 days. The idea was to crochet one a day, but even at the start I knew that wasn't going to happen, but still within that time period I wanted to crochet 100 granny squares. That did not go according to plan. I started off all right. The first 3 weeks I managed to crochet all of my squares. Forgive me, I'm going to struggle to remember which was which, but I'm pretty sure these ones down the bottom here were those first 3 weeks. So this was definitely week 1. And I crocheted 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. And then this was week 2. That was just a solid square. And how many of those did I crochet? About 3, 7. Then week 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 of those. And then there was week 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I did 6 for week 4 as well. But then, unfortunately, things started to go downhill. I started having like pretty major issues with my shoulder, with my neck. And while it's a little bit better currently, it's an ongoing process trying to figure out like what it is. Is it an extension and worsening of already existing issues that I have? Is it something completely new? We've got to figure that out. But that has severely limited the amount of time I can crochet for. And while over the next few weeks of that granny square challenge, I did crochet some squares. I have the heart ones, and I have these swirl ones I really like this swirl design. I would love to make a jumper using this pattern. Just 2 big squares for the front and back and add some sleeves. So that is all I managed to get done for the granny square challenge. Nowhere near the 100 squares that I wanted to crochet. I potentially could have crocheted more, but in doing so, I would have sacrificed my crochet time for other projects. So a lot of the videos I've made over the last couple of months would not have been made if I had continued with the granny square challenge, which is, it's unfortunate, it's really disappointing. But unfortunately, as anyone with health issues, medical issues will know, sometimes we just can't do these things. And as much as we want to, we're just not physically able. And if I'm being totally honest, I did spend quite a significant amount of time feeling shitty because, you know, I couldn't do this challenge that I really wanted to do. And I've come up against this problem before. A while ago, it's probably months and months at this point, but I did a 24-hour crochet challenge. But the way I approached it was I divided those 24 hours up over, what was it, a few weeks or a month or so, just because in theory, I like the idea of being able to crochet for 24 hours straight and seeing how much I can make. It's just not feasible. I cannot do that. And if I tried to do that, it would legitimately end up with me probably bedbound for a week or so trying to recover from that. But you gotta face facts. Sometimes some of us just can't do things like that. And I think we need to like reframe how we think about it. Stop comparing ourselves to other more able-bodied people and just be proud of what we can accomplish. And that's what I'm trying to do with this challenge. I was someone who really had no experience making granny squares. I've made this granny square. I made the, what was it? It was supposed to be a 70s inspired vest, but it ended up being a pretty damn ugly cardigan. I still got it in my room. I'll wear it occasionally, but I made granny squares for that. But outside of that specific project, I really haven't had much experience making granny squares. And this challenge that I set myself was intended to change that. I really wanted to get a feel for different granny square designs, how they're constructed, how they're put together. And I did achieve that to a certain degree. I've made, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different designs, which is not nothing. Is it as much as I wanted to crochet? No, but it's not nothing either. Sometimes I've got to take that step back and look at what I have accomplished. And I've got 6 different designs that I can now use going forward and incorporate into different crochet projects. And there is nothing at all stopping me from re-attempting this 100-day challenge at some point in the future when, or if I can crochet for longer again. And B, if I am having a good day, I can just randomly try a granny square pattern that I find on YouTube. I don't necessarily have to do that as part of a larger challenge. I hope that rambling made a bit of sense, but that was just something I wanted to talk about. And the reason I bring these up in conjunction with the scrap I sorted before is because I'm hoping to maybe use these or incorporate them into a scrap project. If I did end up making a jumper out of my scrap here, I could theoretically make pockets or a hood, or what else could I use them for? I don't know. I can't think of anything aside from pockets or a hood at the moment, but there might be other uses for them. But I can incorporate them into that project. And I just whacked myself in the eye with the yarn end. My eyes are watery enough thanks to allergies. I don't need to add yarn to the mix, but I could incorporate those into that scrap project to use them up. And then I think I would feel less like my effort, minimal though it was, my effort hasn't completely gone to waste. So that was my thinking. That is why I have bought both of these bags out to show you guys today. But I think that is going to be it for this video. I don't really have anything else to add. I just wanted to sort my scrap, which I've done. I just wanted to talk about my experience with my granny square challenge project. And this also serves as a bit of an update for anyone who followed along with the 100-day granny square challenge and has been wondering why no video has been produced for that. That's the reason why. I just didn't get to finish it, unfortunately. As I mentioned, if you have any suggestions, both for the scrap and the granny squares themselves, let me know what they are, because yeah, at the moment, my mind is set on making a scrap jumper, but that can always be changed. And depending on how much scrap I have, I can make more than one project. It's not like scrap yarn is going to be a resource that I am deficient in. So yeah, we can always attempt more than one project. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for your continued support. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you on Friday with my next video.